Hi, this is Morley and this is the M-Wire. In this video, we are going to look at a new lawsuit that seeks to give Mike Pence sole discretion to choose which electors will be counted. My apologies for my absence, folks. Life is getting in the way of me making videos. Without going into a long story, I'm going to try and get back to a consistent pattern. I realize I haven't made a video in over a month. And quite frankly, I miss it. I enjoy making videos, I enjoy bringing you a story, and I enjoy getting your feedback afterwards. So I'm going to try and get back in the swing of things here in the new year. So this new lawsuit here, this is basically, they're trying to give Mike Pence the sole discretion to choose the electors. Well, as the vice president, he can either go with what the quote-unquote vote is, despite the irregularities, or he can choose Republican electors in the states where there was dueling electors. Or he can throw them both out. That's an option too, which would mean that the vote would go to the House of Representatives. But before we get into that, I'm just going to read this quick article here. Basically, this is a synopsis of what this journalist thinks is happening with this lawsuit. Louie Gohmert is suing to ensure Mike Pence has the ability to choose which electors are legitimate in states where there are competing sets of electors. Texas Republican Representative Louie Gohmert on Monday sued Vice President Mike Pence in a last-ditch effort to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Gohmert's federal suit, which anticipates the House of Representatives' January 6 certification of President-elect Joe Biden's Electoral College win, seeks to give Pence exclusive authority over which votes are deemed certifiable. In his complaint, Gohmert argues that since competing sets of electors cast votes calling the election for President Trump, Pence should have the sole discretion to determine the legitimacy of the votes as per the 12th Amendment. Gohmert added that in the case of a contested election, the Constitution requires that Pence send the election to the House for a decision. Vice President Pence determines which state of electors' votes counts for neither or that state, Gohmert attorneys wrote. If no candidate has a majority of 270 electoral votes, then the House of Representatives and only the House of Representatives shall choose the president. This feels like a long shot for a couple of reasons. First, it seems unlikely that the courts, at least ultimately, would side with Gohmert and rule that Pence would be the one presiding over the January 6th session, would be able to do this. Secondly, if state legislatures were unwilling to recall electors and pick new ones, it seems even more unlikely that Mike Pence would overrule a state and pick electors voting for Trump when the state sent electors voting for Biden. But hey, I'm not an expert in these matters. Maybe Louie will win and Pence will pick Trump electors for a few states and Trump will end up winning. I think the country would explode if that happens, but we'll see. Well, the way I understand it is this. I've looked into it, and basically Pence can either pick the Democrat electors of the contested states, or he can pick the Republican ones. Or he can just say, oh, I've got two sets of electors here, I'm just going to throw these out, and it would go to the House. Now, I think I have a different take on this, and I hope you give me some latitude when I explain this here. I think this whole lawsuit is nothing more than to send a message to Mike Pence to do the right thing on January 6th. Which what I think he should do is just toss the dueling elector states out, forcing it to go to the House. There's 31 Republican states and there's 19 Democrat state legislatures. So if it went that way, it would be pretty obvious as to what the result would be. But to be honest with you, I knew that the swamp was deep. I think we all knew the swamp was deep. But the complete unwillingness for courts at the state level and obviously the federal level, being the Supreme Court, to not even be willing to hear any of this case. Like, there's so much testimony and evidence, and they're not interested in it. The Supreme Court has effectually said, oh, well, we'll look at it after Inauguration Day. Well, isn't that kind of like giving someone a new trial who's on death row, who has just been executed for their crime, and, oh, well, yeah, we'll give them a new trial. Well, what's the point then? It's pointless. So I hope that the swamp does not. I hope it's not to the point where it affects the vice president of the United States himself. I mean, Pence is going to have the most power on January 6th in America, believe me. It won't be President Trump, it'll be Pence. This is all on him now. I think that after January 6th, if whichever way these electoral votes go, that's who I think the president's going to be. I mean, just the unwillingness, like I say, of the courts to hear this case. Like, what other choice is there? I mean, unless Trump goes the Insurrection Act route, which may happen, or the Article 51 route, which may happen. But I guess he's obviously not going to do that until after January 6th, if necessary. So I hope Mr. Pence does the right thing here. I think we all do at this point. But I just wanted to drop by and say I haven't forgot about my viewers. I'm sorry I haven't been able to make videos. Life is just chaotic right now, but I'm hoping in the new year that I'll be able to make videos more consistently, as I enjoy bringing them to you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and God bless each and every one of you.